Hello, everyone, and welcome to another scene of Living World of Darkness, the Mage venue. And today we start the scene with Ava having spent an unusual amount of time. Well, I mean, it's not necessarily an unusual amount of time for her to be in the library all day. Um, but it's been extremely long since she has left the library, even to her standards. She is sitting at a table with an incredible amount of books, like basically all the books that she could find on the Umbra, but also on dreams and nightmares. And she has them all piled up, like all books regarding the Umbra are on her left, books about dreams, nightmares, and whatnot, including anything that she could find on like past lives and such is on the right, and everything that she's read is piled like on the ground actually, or onto chairs next to her, which onto chairs next to her, because you don't put books on the ground. That's improper. And she is making notes. She's not writing in her dream diary. She's just writing on in another book. And yeah, she seems to be pretty up in her work. Seems to be pretty busy.
As she is spending her time in the library, a familiar figure kind of like potters down. And Nausicaa, just kind of like wanders into the library and goes to a section on that actually has like a kind of like a weird collection of kind of USBs and stuff, and just plugs one into the laptop she brings down, and then looks over and sees an Ava and wanders over. Hello, Ava.
Ava had not seen Nausicaa come in, so when she suddenly hears "Hello, Ava," she jerks her head up like, "Oh, Nausicaa, hey."
What are you working on?
Um, well, a few things actually, and I'm not quite sure where to put my priority, but yeah, I'm looking into the Umbra. Well, I mean, not actually looking into. I'm reading on it,
Really?
and Alva will actually put down her pen because she realizes that she's not actually spoken to anyone about it, and she's actually pretty, proud of what she's accomplished. And so she puts down her pen and puts a page marker in between the book that she has open and closes it, and then yeah, stands up so that because it's really awkward when one of them is sitting and the other one is standing, leans against the table. She says, "I've actually walked in the Umbra, Nazca. I did it."
Oscar squints for a moment. What do you mean you walked in the Umbra? I thought you could all see the Umbra all around us anyway.
Yeah. What I mean is that I actually stepped into another layer of reality, physically.
Oscar raises an eyebrow. If I remember correctly, that means you have a considerable mastery over the Ars Spiritus.
There's this bright smile on Ava's face. Isn't that like super exciting?
That is very interesting. What did you see? And Oscar actually gets out like a little kind of notepad from her pocket and begins to take notes.
So I I stepped into the Umbra in the at the temple. And at first it didn't really seem that much different. I was in the library of the temple. and I walked out. Well, actually, there's like you have these piles of books there, like the ones that are fallen from the shelves and everything.
Yes.
So I put my it wasn't like they were individual books in the Umbra. There was just like this big pile, just a pile or something in itself. And it just felt so weird to put my hand in, and it still kind of felt like the stroking of the pages. But yeah, it was just a very weird sensation. And then I went out, and there wasn't much there, which I kind of expected there not to be really anything. Um, Although I wonder what would happen if I would try to walk the Shadow World there, given what Theo has seen. But anyway, so I was there, and I was looking at like the planetoids that are hanging in the air, and they had this kind of red hue, like a mist almost hanging around them. And when I actually went to the, where the statues are, and like you have that gray mist that kind of envelops the entire area, I saw something like glistening, like almost shining, and I reached out to that, and it was something solid. And I mean, okay, you would have probably thought me to be mad, but I decided to jump to it. And I was standing there. I was standing on what seemed to be nothing.
You know what you did was potentially very dangerous.
Yeah, like I said, I told you. I was already thinking. I was doing it. I was thinking, oh god, now the guy's gonna give me. He like okay, you can give me the lecture about how dangerous it was, but it's turned out to be some sort of a pathway, and I followed it for a while, and until I came to like this um like a split in the road, and if I would look to one side, there was this again kind of reddish planetoid, like a red mist was hanging around it. If I would look to the other side, there was another kind of planet. Not quite sure if planet's the right word for it, but I'll get to that. It was pitch black. So
Really?
yeah, I've not don't really know what that meant yet, but the feeling it gave me was just terrible. Like it felt like death. So I decided to not go there. And she will give Nausicaa a look like, "Are you proud of me now?"
Oscar
so
does nod, and she's like, "This is good."
so I went the other way, a little bit further into the direction of that red mist, and then there was another fork in the road, and I mean, the feeling of that red mist was also not good. It was definitely it doesn't feel like that is something that you know. I feel that that is something evil as well, but it wasn't as a deep grounded fear thing that I felt from like the entire black thing.
Really?
Yeah, it's hard to explain, when you see something and you kind of intuitively know that it's something fortunate or something bad or something. Yeah, I don't know if you're familiar with that feeling at all. Um Like when we were in the Hermetic Chantry and we were at that vault thing, and I just knew there was something bad there. Like from the little bit of Enochian that I know, and just combined with this, I don't know, the telltale signs of something evil being kept there. It was sort of like that. Same sensation.
Nausicaa's taking kind of very brief notes, and you quickly see that she kind of like stops being able to like, yeah, kind of get information that's useful to her out of it, and just like kind of just listens. This is a potentially very powerful option for us. If
What do
you
you
are
mean?
able to walk within the spirit realm, as you call it, the Umbra,
Hmm.
I potentially see this as being extraordinarily useful.
I I hope so. But yeah, so when I came to the other splits, there was again like to the one side that red mist, but it seemed almost as if it had gotten a little closer.
Really?
Like I couldn't see the temple area at all. I couldn't see that mountain at all. So it's just me standing in like nothing with these planetoids in between. Um, when I looked at the other side, there was sort of a silver, almost moonish thing, you know?
Really? How do you mean silver and moonish? In the sky, or?
I mean, they were all hanging in the sky. I was hanging in the sky.
Again, Nausicaa's face just kind of says, "Ew."
I mean, they're
Okay.
the one like doing all the gravity tricks. This was just a pathway that was in the sky.
Fascinating. What do the books say about it? I have very little explanation for this, obviously.
I'm still reading about it. Because out of character, I have no idea what kind of terms the mages are using for this.
Yeah, me either.
Like, I don't know if they call it a moon bridge. Well, they do speak of different, well, worlds, or I would, yeah, like there's a deep umbra, and but I haven't really gotten very far into them yet. I've been doing some other stuff as well. Um, it does feel very exciting. However, I'm not like the red thing. I was thinking like, you remember what Theo was telling, right? About what he saw in the shadow world part of
Yes,
the
I
Umbra.
remember.
So I was thinking, what if that creature is like lurking and is coming like to the temple area over those pathways?
You think it likely?
I wouldn't. I don't know. I really don't know. I think I might have to try and see if I can talk to those ghosts with him.
Yes. You appear to have a greater control over our spiritist than he would. But the two of you working together would be very good.
Mm-hmm.
I have myself been researching warding.
Good. Did you find anything useful yet?
Yes and no. I have looked high and low, and I can say with certainty that warding the area would be far beyond the reach of any of us, even all of us combined.
Mm.
I would be able to do minor, although not true wards, but minor effects. Correspondence allows me to establish control within an area, and there will be minor things I will be able to do, especially within the sphere of forces. However, to properly ward it, as we understand it, as the Chantry has upon it, no. I would need an even higher understanding of correspondence, and then also the understanding of at least the sphere of spirit, if this creature is does indeed fall within that aspect.
You hear some steps, someone walking down the stairs from outside. And is the door to the library closed or open?
Probably open.
Okay. And you see an unfamiliar face popping its head in with a teacup in hand and a pretty confused, disheveled look. Pops his head in. Ah, there you are.
So he just looks at him. Looks at Ava. Has Noska seen him before? Oh no, we have just like seen him around, right?
No, you've seen him carried out by Boris,
Okay.
and Boris has told you that he's not feeling really well. So yeah, it's the first time you see him walking around.
Noska will then just kind of look at him, look at Ava, walk up to him. I am Athena Amaryllis, adept of the Order of Hermes of House Fortunae. How are you feeling?
Well, I've been worse.
For example, when you were a cat.
Even before that, but let's not get into the details here.
Noska squints at him slightly. So,
Yeah.
what can you tell us about the Order? About what happened in the Chantry?
There's a lot to talk about. But if you want the short version, they fucked up.
How?
Didn't prepare for an attack this big. We got caught by surprise. They managed to go through the woods. They were armed with a lot of weapons. There was a lot of them. Caught us by surprise. Some of the other traditions warned them. They didn't want to listen. They just came one night.
And your position was consort. Forgive me. Explain exactly what that means.
It's an umbrella term for the first two ranks of the order. I'm unawakened. Basically, I'm a sleepwalker.
I've heard this term.
Training in order to awaken, and it didn't happen until now, and probably never will.
I mean, you might still have a chance.
Even if I want nothing more to do with the order.
Well, all right.
You helped me turn back and promised you some information. Let's get this over with. I want to go home.
Where do you call home?
My parents have a house in California.
What about your duties to the Order of Hermes?
Nausicaa.
You have no duties as a consort. I didn't take the order. I didn't take the oath. My chantry is obliterated, for lack of a better term. I am relieved of my duties, so to speak.
We will have to confirm this is proper protocol with some other members of the Order.
Of course it is. You know that. Like,
He's aware of much. What did they find him?
well, that is something that I wanted to bring up. I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch your name yet, sir.
Well, you've got a short memory. Since you're the only one that talked to me before I turned back.
Sorry, like, I didn't realize she got his name when he was a cat.
David.
In that case, forgive me, I'm being stupid. Oh, oh right. Sorry, David. I do understand that you want nothing more to do with us or with any of this. And I think all of us would respect that. I do agree with Nausicaa here, Athena here, that...
Out of character, would she say Nausicaa or would she just go straight to Athena? Because he might catch that.
I'm very fine for it to have been both.
Yeah. She would have probably gone with Athena immediately.
Okay, fair enough.
I do feel that we need to check whether there is any sort of protection that we must leave you with.
Don't want any and don't need any.
I'm sure you don't want any. But I highly doubt that there are no technocrats in California. And you and I both know what they can do. And I know that you would not want them to come to your house because you might know something that they want, or even if they think you might know something that they want.
Trust me, my house is protected.
Good. Are your parents as well?
Well, judging the fact that my grandfather awakened, two of my uncles are awakened. My mother's sister's also awakened. I come from a long line of consorts, but as you know, or probably don't know, being awakened isn't something hereditary. So sometimes it skips some generations, but most of us were trained in the ways of the Order.
Very well. That's good to hear.
Well, before you go, we would like information about that place. Everything you know, especially about the vault in the cellar.
Oh, you mean Jimmy?
Also, could just raises an eyebrow at him. Go on.
The thing behind the vault has a name. I'm guessing it has an actual name. We just used to call him Jimmy. I have no idea.
Alpha starts writing.
I have no idea what he is exactly. He was brought to the chantry before my time.
Did he communicate with the previous occupants?
Not with all of us. One of our magisters was in charge of feeding him.
Feeding him? What kind of entity is Jimmy?
Like I said, I don't know.
Presumably hostile.
Depends on your definition of hostile. The magister that fed them never came out looking any worse. So he might have had a degree of control upon the creature.
Oscar just nods. We will assume it is hostile then.
Well, wouldn't you be hostile if you weren't fed for 2 years?
Oscar just ignores the question. Aside from that, are there any remnants of the orders? Either knowledge, some kind of library, items, anything left over? Also, we would like the names of the order members that were killed in the attack.
It's kind of hard to do. Because they took the bodies. I have no idea who was dead or just left unconscious. I'm sure there's a register somewhere in the house where you can find all the names. They took most of the things from the library, but they did a pretty messy job after the initial attack, after the shooting. They left their goons to handle everything, managed to distract a few of them, so they might have not taken everything. Besides, all of us had niches and secret storage spaces in our rooms. So,
do you know where any of these are? It would make us searching for them much easier.
It was left to the device of each inhabitant of the room where they chose to place their belongings or their secrets. It's probably like 30 rooms in there.
We will look then. Is there anything else that would seem pertinent for us to know?
Get in and out as fast as you can. I don't know if there's any degree of if they're still monitoring the house in any way. Haven't seen anything obvious. So that box next to the fountain might be worth looking into.
Mhm.
Yes.
Have you seen anyone else coming in before us after the place was destroyed?
There was a hobo that came in once. Just tried to find a place to sleep where the rain wouldn't get to him.
Really?
That's it. Other than that, no.
Okay. I was wondering if anyone else had been looking.
If you wish to leave the service of the order, as long as that is protocol, I assume it is fine. However, until then you were working for us, and you have suffered greatly due to that. Do you need anything from us before you leave? I assume you have no money for a plane ticket to California.
I've still got my bank account and some money in it. And he pulls out his wallet, puts it back in. I can handle on myself.
Most
Is there
shrugs.
anything else we can do for you?
Mm, There's nothing you can do. Unless you can get rid of this. And he pulls up his sleeve and shows you. You see a tattoo on his wrist? That looks like this.
Oscar looks at it. There are several symbols of the spheres on here. What does it mean?
All of the consorts had this. It's surprisingly functional and surprisingly strong magic. You can't see it unless you're awakened or already have one of them. Initially, they were white. They were supposed to turn red when we're in danger. The darker the red, the more immediate the danger. And you can see it's black. He doesn't say that, but you would notice the fact that it's black.
Does the black mean you are in high levels of imminent danger, or is it rather it is no longer functional?
We had the tank going through the chantry. I think it's broken. It got overloaded.
What do you think, Ava? Do you think there's some way to remove it?
I would suggest either Matter or Life could do it. Like Matter, you could probably remove the ink from the skin. But I don't think I have anything in my repertoire to take that away from you. I'm sorry.
I'll just wear long sleeves till I get home then.
How about you leave your phone number here? If any of us can help you with it, then, we shall. Although, if your family is as, well, your family might be able to help out better than we can anyway.
Do you want to know anything else? Because if not, I'd rather take my leave.
Do you happen to know how many members your chantry held when the attack happened?
Probably like 30 something of us in there.
Okay.
We had members that came in and went out for field missions, so it's hard to take an exact census, but there's a registry somewhere in the main office.
I was about to ask. Thank you.
Hey, our magistrix, even though we were technically a flambeau, Chantry, our magistrix, was part of House Shea. She wrote everything down.
Do you know her name?
She went by Alexandra. This is everything I know. She introduced herself formally the first time I met her, but I was a kid when I met her, so I have no recollection of that. We all just called her Magistrix Alexandra. She's probably the only person I can confirm is dead.
I see. Well, it's good to know. I don't have any other questions. Do you have I wouldn't ask for a phone number, but perhaps an email address if we do come across something that we would like to know? Would you be willing to answer?
No. I'll give you all the information you want now. After that, I want to have nothing more to do with the order.
Fair enough. Although again, with a family like yours, I don't think you can completely avoid it, but
That's my problem.
I was gonna say that, please. I'm not holding it against you, I can understand. I just don't know what to ask right now. So, no, I don't have any more questions.
Do you have a piece of paper and a pen?
Alpha kind of, looks to the desk and she picks up the book she was writing in and rips out a paper from it and hands a pen.
Goes to the table, draws a map, Makes a couple of squiggles on a few of the rooms. Turns it sideways. Makes another one. Grabs another piece of paper. Makes another map. It says, hands you the first paper. First floor, second floor, basement. This is everything I know as far as the layout of the chantry goes.
Thank you. The head of your chantry, what was his name?
I just told you her name.
Oh. I apologize. I misunderstood then. Hmm.
Well, David, I have no more questions.
Neither do I.
If you are in trouble, and if the Union does somehow find you, you should contact us. Ring this number. And Nosuke's going to hand him a piece of paper.
He's gonna put it in his pocket. Then good luck, and I hope we never see each other again.
Likewise.
I hope so
And
too. Please be safe.
I'm a big boy. I can handle myself. And with that, he takes his little cup and goes back up.
I'm not surprised he was turned into a cat. He's decidedly rude.
I don't know. I don't really think that anyone should be punished like that. If anything, it's an insult to the cats.
How so?
To be used as something, have your image be used as something of a form to punish people with, it doesn't reflect kindly on their kind.
I would not like to be any kind of small animal, especially not one with opposable thumbs. It would make using a keyboard very difficult.
It would. Though perhaps as a rat you could use your tail.
This is true. Nausicaa looks like she's considering the option. Either way. Well, we have lots of good information to go on from here. We should go back, do a thorough search of the area, and then we may be able to. We should try and at least to open the seal in the ground floor.
I feel very conflicted about that.
Really?
Yes. Trust me, I want to know what's behind there. I really do. But I feel like the warnings that I got is that we might be better to leave it to rest. Perhaps that is something that we should consult our elders in our houses about.
Yes. Could we do that now, Lupe?
You want to contact your former mentors?
Yeah, and give them a brief rundown and of the information, and then ask them what to do with this thing in the cellar.
Yeah, fair enough.
Nausicaa will probably just do it like she'll just phone Ulysses.
Okay, so popping out Ulysses. Let me just find his overlay. It says Nausicaa phones her former pater, her former mentor. Picks up the phone. Miss Amaryllis, what a pleasant surprise. What can I do for you?
Mr. Fitzpatrick, it is good to hear your voice. We have uncovered the old Hermetic Chantry within New York City.
Mhm.
We have gone there and we have explored it to an extent. We are going to go back and see what more information we can gather from it. There are two pressing issues. Firstly, we found a cat that was an old what was it? Sorry, because
Consort.
an old consort of. He has left and does not want anything more to do with us. He is unawakened.
Consorts are unawakened by default, Miss Amaryllis. He is within his right if he truly is a consort and unawakened. It seldomly happens. But until one takes on the oath of Hermes, they have no formal obligation towards the order whatsoever.
Secondly, in the basement of the chantry, there is a sealed vault. We believe it contains some kind of guardian to be unleashed in dire circumstances. We were wondering if you had any information on it and any guidance as to what we would do with it.
It is a very crude method of defense. And unfortunately, I can tell you more. The only information I can give you is that the previous name of that chantry was the Xenophon Academy. As far as tampering with unbrewed entities or other types of unconventional defense, I would suggest letting it rest unless there is something in that chamber that you are particularly interested in. Unfortunately, this goes beyond my level of expertise, and I might not be the best one when it comes to advice in these matters.
Well, thank you for your advice in any case, sir. We'll keep you informed.
Have a nice day.
You too. And Oscar will hang up. And she will give the kind of general information to Ava.
I could try to see if Victoria would know anything.
I think so. He mentioned that the Magistrix was of House Shea.
I know.
You may know something more.
And yeah, Ava will ring Victoria. Ring, ring, ring. Ring, ring, ring.
Give me just a second.
Ring.
Ring.
Ring,
She's
Ring.
a busy person.
There's a servant taking the phone. Please hold. And there's the annoying waiting music.
Dun, 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 dun.
And she picks up the phone. Yes, hello?
Hello. It's Nimue.
Ah, good to hear from you, darling. What can I help you with?
A few days ago we found the automatic chantry of New York. And
I see. You
yes,
hear her voice drop. What did you find particularly?
well, the building was ruined. We found one of their consorts had been turned into a cat as form of punishment during, well, right before the attack happened. Um, we found that the Magistrix was one of our house.
I know.
Yes. In the basement, we found a vault of sorts. We think it holds, well, yeah, we think it holds something that
I
could
know what
be.
it holds.
You do.
I know who it holds.
I see. What are we to do with it?
My suggestion would be to not interfere. Though I know your curiosity sometimes gets the better of you. So at least I can give you a bit of information. A creature that resides underneath the Xenophone Academy was a bit of a project that my daughter was working on.
Your daughter. I see.
Yes,
I'm sorry for your loss.
I appreciated it, though there was nothing that could be done. Actually, in a way, I'm not a fan of modern technology, so how about you and Athena come over for tea coming
course.
days? Tomorrow, the day after, and we can talk and I can provide you with a bit more information.
Of course. Yes. Whatever time you wish, we can clear our schedules.
I'll send a car for you. Just send me a message with an hour and a day, a time and a day, and I'll make the arrangements.
I will. We will see you soon then.
Have a nice day. Actually, peony this, princess.
Okay? I have not set up in any kind of dice roller for this, so give me a moment to properly set up.
Mage dice rollers don't bother setting up because
Okay.
we'll set up for the next scene.
Perception, empathy. Two successes.
She's crying. She's crying as hard as she can to not show it over the phone, but she's crying.
Oh. I'm sorry if this brings up old memories. I will see you soon, my lady.
To be so formal. We'll see each other soon. Good day.
Good day. Ava will hang up and kind of looks at the phone in her hands for, like 5 seconds or something.
Her daughter.
Yes.
Oscar just thinks for a moment. Interesting.
I suppose. Anyway, we're invited for tea in the next coming days, whenever it suits us. You should send a message with the date, an hour. She'll send a car.
For what reason?
She didn't want to discuss this over the phone,
Ah,
which I can
okay.
understand.
I
If you
appreciate
don't
that.
want to come along, I can go on my own.
I think it would be proper if I'm invited to go. It would be rude otherwise.
Good, because I would have preferred to have you at my side.
It's good. Just kind of shrugs and like plays it off. Like, yeah, I don't care. There we go. Just obviously like, yeah. Well, we should talk to the others.
Yeah.
In the meantime, we should not go back to that place,
Mm-mm.
except to look around before we have the information from your former mater.
Yes, I agree.
Well, until then, I do have some work to do. I know you do also.
Yes, of course.
Oscar's going to get her laptop and move it onto the same table as Ava, and yeah, just kind of begin looking through several things. Occasionally going to get a new book, etc.
Yeah, we'll sit back down at her spot, and we'll soon be wrapped up in the contents of yet another book. And it is there that we will end the scene. Thank you, player, for playing. Thank you, ST, for steeing. We'll see you again on another episode of Living World of Darkness.